Welcome to Changing Suits. We're your hosts, Bal
and Taj, discussing the latest news, views, and general life for us Western Asians.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, changing_suits, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Hi, welcome to Changing Suits. My name's Bal.
And my name's Taj.
Today we're going to be discussing mothers. And why would we want to discuss mothers? Because, if you hadn't realised, it is soon going to be Mother's Day. The one day that we should be appreciating our lovely mothers. And we also probably think that we haven't appreciated them enough over the rest of the year. So, Taj, you're the one that wanted to talk about this. Why is it so important to you?
Firstly, it's Mother's Day, and I'm a mother.
Oh, that's fair enough. And you have to remind everyone in your household to buy you a present. Yes, fair enough.
Well, saying that, let's start on this. So today we had a gift delivered to our house.
And you're like, oh my God, OMG.
No, I'm not very materialist. I didn't think I was materialistic, but this really tested me. So I was like, oh my God, they bought me a gift. And I looked at the label and it was the next door neighbours.
Damn it. God damn it.
I was like, okay. Right, thanks. And then I was thinking, yeah, I ain't going to get nothing. This would have been the surprise. Why am I expecting anything? I'm not going to get it.
Okay, let me just text him right now and say, make sure you get her Mother's Day gift.
No, to be honest, no. I don't think a gift is the biggest thing. It was just nice. You know, when you have a surprise, I don't want it, but hey, it's a surprise.
Yeah. Who does not? I'm sorry. Anyone gets an Amazon box, you're like, oh my God, what's inside the box?
But it's more about opening it. I think there's that childlike thing where even, opening an envelope, I don't care what it's probably a bill usually. I don't care what's in the envelope. It's just opening it. Maybe that Christmas Day thing where you open something and it's like, oh my God. And then you're like, oh.
Okay, so I'll text him that you want a box. You don't need to put anything inside the box.
No.
Because we just want that excitement of the box.
No, all right, I'm going to go back on myself here.
Because then you get the downfall of the disappointment when there's nothing in the box apart from coal.
If you do that, you're going to cause an argument because I'll be like, why the hell did you just blimmin' get me a box?
Because you just wasted money on postage.
Why do you have to get involved? Like, come on.
Sorry, I won't get involved. What are you talking about? Actually, this week, just so the listeners know, last week, should I say, Taj and my lovely brother-in-law did have their anniversary.
I thought you were going to say our weekly fight.
No, not the weekly fight. I thought I'd just leave that aside. But it was their anniversary last week, and it's the usual yearly argument of, we didn't do anything, you didn't buy me anything, that usual argument that they have. And obviously I'm the third person in this relationship, so I listen to it and have a good laugh at it. Anyway, so you obviously came to my house on Friday. Yeah. And it was funny because when you said it, you told me on Thursday, I'm like, oh my God, I don't really have time to go out, but okay, anyway, we'll go out for your anniversary. And I said it to Suk, and I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna go to lunch. Me, he's like, just sit this one out, for God's sakes, you don't need to get involved. I'm like, but they want me to be there. But I'm like, all right, fair enough.
But to be honest, we really did not mind. It's just
I know
didn't work.
This is the problem, though. I do need to say I should not be invited to these things.
But the thing is, it would have been different. It was just me saying it, but both of us said it. He didn't mind either. It's not something dodgy going on. It's just we probably just don't want to be in each other's company, so a third person helps.
So I tend to connect you two, and I'm very happy with this role, so I can have a good laugh at you lot whenever I can. Anyway, going back to it.
I was just going to say, let's reel this in to the topic that it's meant to be.
Yes, sorry.
I don't mind talking about me, but come on.
Yeah. Okay. Where were we? I've forgotten where we were.
Right. So we were talking about Mother's Day, but let's begin right from the beginning.
Dream.
Yeah.
So
yes. You're married because obviously you can't have kids without getting married.
Of course. I mean, I didn't even know that was. Anyway, exactly. Okay. It wasn't even possible, right?
The stork brings the baby.
Yes, of course.
Of course. And before the stork, so you get all the
you have sex. Oh, and then the stork brings the baby.
To be honest, when you said that word, my eyes did open really wide. Like, oh my God, did she just say it?
But it's fine. The stork did bring the baby because no one.
No, I want to go before that. So basically, you get married, and the next day, or even on the day, everyone's like, "When you're going to have a baby?" And you're like, "For God's sake, I just got married."
Yeah.
So you get the aunty, like I like talking about the aunty.
Yes, of course, auntie, yes. If she's
So
not mentioned at least 3 times in this podcast, I'd be disappointed. Yep.
you're right, because they play a very big part in my marriage and my life. That sounds dodgy, but I did not mean it like that. But
Okay.
anyway, so yeah, you get all that buggering and you're like, no, I'm going to do it when I'm ready. I need to
What, have
sort
sex or have kids?
both.
Okay.
I need to financially be stable. I'm like, I've got married late, but I don't care waiting a little bit longer. Who said
Because
that?
the body just keeps on going. We've
That's
got enough
right.
energy. It's fine. We're good.
Nothing wrong with it.
Yep.
Anyway, so have like through the pregnancy, you expected to, and you said this quite a lot about, you're just expected to carry on like normal. Don't moan about it. Just get on with it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I've always got this chip on my shoulder about this. I just think it's unbelievable that women are expected to carry on as normal just because millions and millions of people have done it. I mean, women have done it, and yeah, I don't agree with that sort of outlook on this whole thing because I think it's, as we know, the biggest thing ever. Like, you're pushing a child out. But anyway, we'll move on
there's
with that.
many women that would disagree. I remember living in Norway, the women, like if you offered them a seat, and I think this was more the Norwegians. I might be getting this wrong, so the Norwegian listeners might want to comment and say, "What are you talking about?"
Don't you just hate Taj bitching on the Norwegians, that sort of thing?
No, I'm not bitching on them, but they're very strong women.
And the rest of us are weaklings. So that was actually a really positive for the Norwegians. They're going to love you
so
after this
there
one
you
now.
go. So if you offer,
So it's the English ones that are going to hate
so
on you
they
now.
don't expect someone to offer, like on public transport. They don't expect to offer a pregnant woman a seat. Just keep it going. But I think it was the foreigners that came in and ruined the
Bloody
country.
foreigners.
No, to ruin the country. No, we have got this thing of it's just manners or polite or come on, I've got a baby, get out of the way, let me sit down.
See,
Kind of
do you know
thing.
what? In my good old days, I would have been like, yeah, I can do this. I don't need anyone to worry about me. But I'm like, screw it. Do you know what? If someone else wants to pick that heavy box up for me or very light box, do it. Why do I need to waste more energy? If I'm pregnant, I will more than happy sit on a seat and let someone else stand up. Or forget about me being pregnant. Just get up. I want to sit down.
It's not very like a feminine. What is it? The
Feminist view.
I can't say the word feminism.
No,
Yeah, I
it's not
tend to
about
get in
being.
the way.
It's not. It's not feminism. It's just the fact that I prefer sitting than standing. That's it. I hate standing, and I'm selfish. There we are. We're selfish. Oh.
But then, are you letting the side down by doing that? By showing that a woman's vulnerable and weak and can't carry on?
No, someone else can do that. I'm showing that I'm weak. Not other women. I don't represent other women in that case. Women are very strong. I've always been very passionate about that. I'm just a weakling. Don't base it on me.
But I think we've got this big thing. Women have got this big thing about having to compare themselves against men and like they're the benchmark. Why is it if we can do something a man can do, then we're strong? Why isn't it the other way around? If you can
because we know that women are strong and men just don't want to admit it. I mean, no, okay. The actual real answer is because obviously society sees men as being stronger. They've got more top positions. They're the breadwinner, financially more seen as more stable. We know that. We know this spiel. We know in our heart of hearts that it's not true, but that's what society wants us to think, and that's what we think, and that's what we pass on to our kids to think, unfortunately.
I think we should change this way of thinking and show we don't need to use the man as a benchmark of showing us that we are strong. If you like cooking, why is it, oh my God, she's standing in the kitchen? What's wrong with standing in the kitchen?
Nothing. We all got to eat.
Exactly.
So
why is it demeaning?
So
why is it demeaning to be standing in the kitchen?
I think that's changed to be. I would have thought it's changed. No, has it?
It depends which household you're in, because it ain't changed in my household. Although our dad was very good at very equal opportunities.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, changing_suits, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Okay, so we're talking about Mother's Day. And one thing that is a fault with us is if you look throughout our podcast, there's always a thread. We do tend to talk about our parents, but we always talk about the positives of dad, right? Now, we're talking about Mother's Day and we've completely diverted on a lot of subjects here. But we know, especially me and you, as to how much work mum does. And we know 150% she isn't appreciated near enough what she deserves to be.
But I think that's the thing of the mother is always in the background and she's doing it and she doesn't complain. I'm not saying that the father complains, but there's a bigger deal of, oh, my huvud kita.
Do you know what? Suk said something so similar this morning, actually. So we were just talking, as we do on the very rare occasion. And he said, oh, because he drops the kids off and, the other mothers go and drop the kids. A lot of mothers drop off the kids in the morning. And he goes, oh, yeah, I was talking to my friends, the mothers groups, and everyone was talking about how, the weekend.
I can't imagine him saying that, to be honest, but okay.
Well, no, he got involved and, he tends to keep to himself. But anyway, the mums were talking about, mums plus Suk obviously, were talking about the weekend and how they were doing cleaning the bed sheets and all that sort of stuff. It was a busy weekend for everybody.
Yeah.
And then Suk said, well, he put the clothes out. I was out yesterday, so he put the clothes out.
Nothing wrong with that.
And nothing wrong with that. And he goes, I don't. And the women are like, oh, but you want loads of praise, and men always want loads of praise. To be fair on him, he doesn't tend to fish for the praise. But that's what he said. He goes, well, not really. I don't need the praise, but it is a thing, isn't it? Men tend to need praise, and that's why people give it to him, or them, men.
Yeah, I agree. Because like the Hoover thing that I just spoke about, Dad did this, my husband does this. They'll do the Hoover and they won't do it properly, and I think it's on purpose. And then you have to do it again. But anyway, so a mother, she will just carry on doing what she does, and then it is background noise. I remember when she used to be like, get up, do the work. Or kam karo, and you're like, yo, whatever. Let me watch TV. And it just sounds all a blur in the background. And that's what's happening with our kids as well. We're just the blur in the background. And if the father does something, it's remembered as amazing. If he plays with them for 5 minutes, it's like he's played with them for the whole year. That's in their mind. But if that thing is constant, the constant thing, they won't remember, the kids. But the thing, the different thing, the variable thing, they will. And I think
do you ever use that line of, when I'm dead, you'll realise what you're...
Of course I do, all the time.
Do you think it's a bit harsh that we do use it? Because I use it. I'm like, when I'm dead.
You're right, actually, because I think that's a bit of desi parenting. Always being like the threat.
The extreme. I'm going to go die just so you realise I've done loads for you.
Exactly. The extreme of what.
And then I'm going to come back and haunt you and laugh at you for being in despair.
I don't go that far, but okay, I see how it happens in your household.
It's not quite that extreme. But they don't care because obviously I've been saying that way too much, and they're like, yeah, okay, just go die and we'll see what happens.
That's how I would. But, like just the whole bringing up kid thing, it is a difficult journey in itself. Like, for example, at the moment, I'm going through a challenging patch with my son who is not happy with going to school. And I'm like, okay, is there something wrong with him? Is it mental health issues? Is there something wrong? He's not eating it. He generally doesn't eat that much. Has he got low iron? And then my husband just offered to buy him a pair of trainers just now, and he's the happiest thing in the world. So now I'm like, okay, was I overthinking it, or is he just happy for that little blip? It's just constantly overthinking things and just mulling it around and thinking, if I do this wrong, oh my God, am I doing it wrong? Am I going to affect my child?
But I think this just comes back to, what is it called? Mother's guilt? Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Mother's guilt. I mean,
you've obviously never had it. It seems like you don't even know the concept.
No, I have had it. I've had it. But it's something that stays with you. You always think that one mistake you make is going to ruin their whole life. Well, no, that's not going to ruin their whole life. They'll ruin their own life. It's not what you've done, to a certain extent, obviously. But it's a tough one. I mean, it comes down to the fact that we're critical of ourselves, right? No matter
Yeah.
what we do, it's the be all and end all of everything.
But also, I think I don't know, is there extra pressure in the South Asian community for you and your kids to be looking amazing out in the community that they can't do wrong? And if they do that, they damage your reputation as well.
I don't think that is quite the case now. I think before, perhaps. I mean, our kids are quite young, so perhaps it changes as they get older.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a certain. I don't know. It's a bit of a tough one that is now. I thought of it like that.
I think there is because you still have all right, it's not so much, but it's like um interfaith marriages and stuff like that. You still get the, oh my god, if falan ne then I'll be. So you still got that. And you're letting down the family.
But we haven't hit that stage with our kids where it's not even.
No, but it's all right for our generation. We're still kids of our parents. So that thing is still there. If you're not doing well in a job, oh, you're not doing that well. What is the community going to think? Um, it doesn't reflect well on the family. You haven't been educated that much. That is still happening in the community. A massive thank you to the National Lottery for supporting Changing Suits.
In raising awareness of mental health in the South Asian community. Do you ever tend to find that if a child does really well at something, everyone's like, well done to the dad. You brought up an excellent child. Well done. And then if there is anything negative, is, oh, it was the mother's responsibility. Punjabi ni sikhai niyaane nu.
Oh God,
Whose
right. So
fault is it? It's
you've
the
hit the nail
mother's.
on the head because I have got a story about this. So there was a family friend who came round, and she's from India, and her kids don't speak Punjabi; they speak English. And I was really, there was nothing behind it. I just said, oh, I would have thought that they would have spoke Punjabi because your Punjabi is really good. And she got really offended, but I can see her
Yeah, I
side as well, to
understand
be
that.
honest.
Yeah,
She got
completely.
really offended, like, oh, everyone has a go at the mum. But my thing was, oh, I thought you would have spoke Punjabi because you are from India.
Hmm.
Um, so I didn't mean it in a bad way, and it didn't come from a bad place. It was just like, oh, okay. And but for her side, and like I said, I can see from her side why she felt so angry about it. It was like blaming the mother.
Hmm.
And you are right. And it happened, like, even though it didn't intentionally mean it, but it was her that was there. It wasn't the father that was there, to be honest. So it happens. You do end up automatically blaming the mother for the bad things that are happening.
I mean, I personally think that it does come back down to the whole uh, good old traditional way of life, right? The mother would stay at home and look after the kids. In which case, I get a lot of the responsibility then lay on her as to if the child doesn't do something in a certain way, then fine, I get it. But it's not like that. I mean, I know full well that I'm working pretty hard, so is my husband. Yes, I spend a lot more time. I do spend more time with the kids. I call that better parenting, personally. But but it is there's only a certain number of hours a day. They get back from school and it is literally jal so jal. I mean, till the moment they put their heads on the pillow, I kind of feel a bit sorry for them.
It is hard now because it's like, okay, come back from school, eat a bit, do some work, go and take him to a club, maybe do a bit more work, get to bed. All right, you'll watch TV in between those times. But it is hard for them, definitely. And it's stressful for us
A
as
parent
parents. Yeah.
think that I tend to find it more stressful than my husband does. And it may well be that whole thing of, the mother gets blamed for this. Perhaps it is that.
I think it is a small case of, oh, you live through your kids. You don't mean to, but
Yeah.
to be honest, I do that because I'm like, okay, I didn't hit this, I didn't hit this. I had all this planned, but for reasons out of my control, I couldn't do what I wanted to. So now I'm like, oh, please, you've got this opportunity, make sure you take it.
Not that people don't realise when they've got an opportunity, they won't realise it. I'll tell you a funny story actually. So last week we started the kids on swimming. Right now, I can't swim. I can swim a bit. I wouldn't be able to survive if I was in the sea. I would die. But anyway, so we took the kids to swimming, and so could put them into stage 2 swimming. Now, bear in
What
mind,
is stage 2? Because I don't
you
know.
have to be pretty confident to be in stage 2.
Okay.
Bearing in mind, there's the first time the kids have gone back to swimming, and they don't know how to swim, and but there was no stage 1 on that day. And I said to Suk, I was like, those kids that are swimming are pretty good. Our kids aren't going to be able to do it. Now, we'd already had a bit of a kerfuffle at swimming just prior to that. And he's like, so what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Should we go home? I'm like, well, you don't look like you want to go home. So I guess we'll just have to make sure, get the kids into stage 2 and hope, fingers crossed, they don't die. Because we don't want to piss off Suk, right? Anyway, they couldn't swim. They got moved back down to stage 1. Oh my God, my heart was pounding as they were in there. I was like, oh, my babies. But obviously I didn't want to get told off from Suk. But anyway, but it's funny because he started to feel nervous once they got into the water. But it's only when they got into the water that he started feeling nervous. I was having that prior to that. I mean, surely you'd see that our kids don't know how to swim. Why would you put them in stage 2? So anyway, is that a thing? Are we more emotionally intelligent generally than men are? Than fathers are to their kids' needs?
Well, a lot of men and us have said to me, like in our family, have said to me that I treat, especially my son, like a baby. And
you do
him
kind of, to be fair.
but then you cuddle your kids, not as much as me, but the cuddling thing. Oh, you're making them soft and stuff like that.
Yeah, but then why else do you have kids?
Exactly, and I want to hug them and kiss them
Yeah.
while they're young. When they get older, I've seen how the teenagers are. They don't want that. So why not?
And they're smelly. You don't want to go near them anyway.
Or am I like holding them off from like becoming like the person that they should be because I'm keeping them like babies?
I don't know.
Argument in itself. I don't think there's a right or wrong way of parenting or being a mother. I mean, for example, like in my household, me and my husband, we both work. I work part-time, hands up, but I do all the 101 other things.
Which are never appreciated.
But I never I don't tidy up in the week. Like I do the odd bit here and there, but not like a proper tidy up. So my house is a tip in the week. And we had some guests once, and they went round my mother-in-law's house.
Yeah, I remember.
And my brother-in-law gave me a heads up because my mother-in-law said she obviously knows how messy I am. She goes, tell them that we're gonna bring the guests round. And I go to my brother-in-law. Oh my God! I'm like, please, can you not? Not that I don't want that. They're really nice people, but I just wasn't ready for it. So I was like, please just keep them there. Because he was like, I can't stop them from coming. And it would have been rude to stop them from coming. Within half an hour, I cleaned up the whole house. I did chuck some things in the cupboard and stuff like that, as you do. But
so a reminder, if anyone wants to go to Taj's house, give her at least half an hour's notice.
No, more than that, please, because I was having palpitations. But anyway, yeah, I think the whole expectation that everything needs to be perfect, if someone comes around, they will look at you and think, oh my God, a bit dirty, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. It is. And it
it
comes down to the woman.
It will fall on the woman.
Yeah.
The mother. Oh, wow, that's a bit disgusting in here. And my house isn't filthy, it's just messy.
But see, again, is it the pressure we put on ourselves? Is that actually...
No.
For example, I'll give you an example. You came around on Friday and I hadn't cleaned the bathrooms. And the next day after you went to the bathroom and whatever. So I
dirtied it.
Yeah, can you come back and clean it, please? But I did say to you, I'm so sorry that, the bathroom was a bit of a mess.
I thought it was fine.
Exactly. You said it was fine. But when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, it is. And it was. It needed cleaning.
But I think it's different when it's close family. But when it's an outsider, I think you do get that judgment.
Mm.
I think as a family, you would know, hey, and as a mother with small kids, you'd be like, you wouldn't judge so much. You'd be like, don't worry about it, kind of thing. But if there was other people, I think with older kids or not kids or whatever, I think there would be that judgment there.
Okay, so when that guest was going to come and you having kittens about the cleaning up, did your husband have the same thought.
Who thought I was going crazy? And so did the kids. They thought I had lost it because I was, I don't know, I can't think of a superhero character, but I was everywhere and anywhere just cleaning. I've never cleaned so quickly in my life.
But then this is the thing. So if your husband hadn't seen it and hadn't thought,
But
hey,
he never sees anything. So the other day, I was in his office and there were papers on the floor. I thought, I'm not going to pick them up. I've done this with the kids, so I'm not going to pick them up. Let's see what happens. I know what was going to happen. The whole week he stepped over them.
yeah.
I came in and I looked at the floor. He saw me look at the floor, but he did not pick them up. Even when we had guests on the weekend, he didn't clean his office. So I had to clean it a little bit because I was like, okay, this is just embarrassing. The car was a mess. And I had to make him clean the car because I was like, okay, this is just embarrassing.
But do you know when I realised I was an adult?
I mean,
Last year.
yesterday.
No. So basically, there was some flowers that I can't remember who bought them, but hey, warning, anyone, do not buy me flowers. They will just come here and die. That's what most things do. I know I keep talking about death today, but anyway, so they obviously sat in the kitchen in the vase, and they slowly over the next few days died, and it was just sitting there. I'm like, okay, cool. Days went by. I'm like, in the good old days, Mum would have picked it up and sorted this out.
Yeah.
And guess who had to sort it out? It was me.
Yeah.
And that's when I realised that I am a mother, because no one else is going to be picking this crap up. I mean, these flowers up.
But then you have that realization of what your mother went through, or our mother went through, and then you start appreciating how much she done and does, because you're going through the same experiences.
But do
And
we
she did.
appreciate it enough?
I don't think we will ever appreciate it enough. But when you go through like you did, you had that, oh, my mum had to do it this way, she had to do this. I don't think we'll ever appreciate enough what mothers do, to be honest.
And that's the tough thing. And how do we change this? Because we all know that a mother, it doesn't matter who you talk to, whether it's a macho man or whoever, it does come down to my mum did this, but it's always too late. We should always be doing it now.
But wait, before we go into that, like when a child becomes ill, they'll go to their mother and they'll expect the mother to sort out the illness.
Yeah. I mean,
Not that
kids do
it
that.
could be a stomachache or something,
Yeah,
but
no, a kid might hurt themselves slightly, and the child wants, I've had it with the kids where they've, might have accidentally kicked something, and, it didn't hurt, but they come up to me and they're like, oh, I did this, and then you touch it, and all of a sudden they're running off, and it's fine because I had the magic touch, which is fantastic, actually. I mean, it's quite impressive how quick kids get better after that.
But is that because there's just that feeling of there obviously is something there that the kid comes back to mother to have that comfort?
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about mothers, but mothers, it doesn't always mean biological mothers. I mean, in our lives, we've had quite a lot of female in our family, like our mommy, our Marcy, that have done so much for us. Probably because our family needed so much done for them. But they've been there whenever we needed to. I remember when Mum went to India and I wasn't feeling well, I phoned my Marcy up and she was making this and she was making that for me. So a mother doesn't necessarily mean, or it has to be the mum.
Someone actually said with Marcy, I can't. They split the word.
Marcy.
Marcy, yeah,
Oh, she was the mother.
yeah, she'd
Marcy.
be the next
Yeah, I remember
person.
someone saying that.
Yeah, and that really made me think, and I hadn't thought of it like this. Marcy, yeah, how amazing is that? Never thought of it. Marcy.
A me. Mommy is the same as well. I haven't think of that.
Yeah,
Saying that. Ma.
yeah. So that
Yeah,
was quite.
hey.
So, how going back to the question I had a little while ago,
Yeah.
it is coming up to Mother's Day. Present, no present. Do you want it or not?
See, the thing is, I don't think it's necessarily presents that are important. I think it's more time. Like having that time with your child. I think that's the bigger gift than anything. Like, for example, how many times, not that we've done it that often, because we buy Dad something for Father's Day and his birthday, but we don't really buy anything for Mum.
Yeah, not
And
either.
when we have bought her something, it's like,
Yeah.
like when we've bought her a machine, for example.
So what crap is this? Oh crap! I shouldn't have bought it.
And it's like, forget it. And then she gave it to us, or you had it, and then I took it off you. But not that she didn't appreciate it. It's just that I don't think she is very materialistic.
Well, the other thing is, if she makes something or she does something and you give her a compliment, she's like, she always gives it a, you're just taking the mick sort of
Yeah.
response.
But is that a bit of desi parenting, where from her parents there's that negativity, from our parents that there's that negativity, and then are we passing that down to our kids as well? Don't be overly happy if this happens. Don't get too excited about this. Stay level with things.
Well, then should we carry on? So, although Mum always is like, don't take the mick, should we carry on? Because I always find it really awkward where it is like, okay, she doesn't want me to compliment her, but if I'm mean to her, she seems a bit happier.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's ask her. Let's get her on the phone. Well, that's the other thing. She doesn't even want to talk to us. I know this sounds really strange, people, to the listeners. Again, whenever we get a FaceTime call, Dad tends to talk to us, and Mum's like, okay, give it a rest. I've got other things to do.
Yeah, but that's because she's really busy in her life, and I don't think that's with all mothers. I think that's just she's just too busy, and when she gets downtime, she just wants to chill out,
Which I understand, actually.
not take time spending with us. But I think I've noticed this with quite a lot of girls in families. If there's like one daughter in the family, they're closer to the mother.
Mm.
Whereas if there's a couple of daughters, the daughters are generally more closer to each other, and the mum, not saying that she's left out, but there isn't, how do you put it, there isn't best friend kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like
no,
with us, we
you
can
tend
speak
to
to our
confide.
mum.
Yeah, you tend to confide in your siblings more than someone that has just themselves. Yeah, no, it's true. We've seen that quite a lot, though, haven't we? So that's fair enough. I did, just before this recording the podcast, I did remind the kids and Suk that it is Mother's Day, because I do like a present on Mother's Day. I don't tend to care about my birthdays and things like that, but on Mother's Day, and this is one thing, can someone that is listening to this, there was one thing I said after my first Mother's Day. I just want, you know, those little fridge magnets. I always get it for Father's Day, where I get a nice little fridge magnet every year of the kids and Suk on Father's Day. I think I've had one a photo in the first year with my daughter. After that, Suk never did that, and I've always wanted that. Someone remind Suk after listening to this, please. I mean, it's only been what, my kids are 6 and 5, you know, and he hasn't picked up on the message.
But you know something, in quite a lot of the photos, I'm not in them with the kids. It's always me taking them off
Exactly.
and with their father.
And yeah, you're right. I've got the same thing. So when I do die, it'll be fine because no one will remember I was there anyway. But anyway, we won't labour on that point. Okay, let's wrap this up. Happy Mother's Day to all those lovely mothers out there looking after their children and someone else's children, and all those other people that are helping raise brilliant kids. You deserve a lifetime of happiness, even if your family isn't giving it to you. No, I'm only kidding. Only kidding. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. I hope you have a lovely day and a lovely year.
Happy Mother's Day, and I hope it's something that you enjoy and you have a bit of time out and self-love and have time to look after your well-being.
And lastly, we love you, Mummy. I know you hate us saying it, but we do love you.
Love you, Mother. Not that we say that very often.
And on that point, my name's Bal.
And my name's Taj.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, changing_suits, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.